Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Groveland Council on Aging Board of Directors meeting on December 17th. You have a motion to open the meeting at 9:32.
So
Make a
moved.
motion, open the meeting.
All in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you. Okay. We'll go around and do introductions. Can we start with you, Deb, please?
Sure. Deb Stevenson, Board Treasurer.
Georgiana, board member.
Linda Workman, board member.
Alyssa Lee, Director.
Barbara Sanborn, board vice chair.
Sharon Hines, Board Chair.
Irene Thomas, Board Secretary.
Thank you. All right, we need to approve the minutes, meeting minutes for November 19th, 2020. Oh, sorry. I was going to forget something. Okay.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'm sorry?
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Oh, yeah, you know, I skipped ahead.
Oh.
We need to do the mission statement.
All right.
We'll return, thank you. All right. Irene, you good to read this?
Sure.
Thank you.
So the mission of the Council on Aging is to advocate for Groveland's older adults, to identify their needs, to develop and implement services to meet their health, economic, social, and cultural needs, to encourage maximum independence, and to improve their quality of life.
Thank you. All right, now to the approval of the November meeting minutes.
Make a motion to approve them.
Second.
Thank you, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. All right, we're on to the director's report.
Good morning. Thank you, everyone. Any questions before I try to do a summary of the report? No? All right. So I opened up with just a reflection in regards to something I'm sure that we've all have noticed, but there was an article that sort of made me reflect on just the importance of connecting in person and how that really has been a change, you know, particularly from 2020, and it's a much needed point of connection to have real life, you know, person-to-person interaction. And I think something that really highlighted just of what a joy was our storyteller performance last week, which was just so much fun. You know, the Davis Bates, who was a storyteller, was just incredibly genuine and sincere, and certainly that makes all the difference. And great time to hear people you know, do that aha, sort of like recognize, oh yeah, we do that too, or something similar, and singing along to the songs. And it was just a really great time, and just made me appreciate all of our in-person programming. So thank you. Finance highlights. We had a number of individual donations come in September. So again, thank you to everybody in the community that had, you know, saw the need, particularly with, you know, the SNAP challenges that were highlighted last month, and really stepping up to the plate and giving financial contributions in addition to food contributions last month. So thank you so much for all of that. With the exception of that, everything is still, you know, in the ordinary in regards to all of our programming expenses and so forth. Any questions on finance? I know we'll get into budget later, but okay. Nisha put together her report here. You know, a couple of highlights include the fuel assistance applications for support from the Groveland Congregational Church is giving out funds, and we help facilitate that. So in previous years, it's my understanding that there hadn't been an application, and so we felt it important, you know, to really be transparent in the process. So we had an opening date, but more importantly, a closing date. And that closing date is December 31st, so they are still open and welcoming welcoming applications. And then also within there, you can see that it will prioritize those that are already receiving income-based subsidies, so things like food stamps and mass health and that thing. So they would self-identify for that. And put those people sort of first in priority, and then certainly in regards to, if they've received the funds before, or, how long, and so forth. So that way everybody knows what we're looking at. It's a clear definition, and so that if there are any questions, we can have a response that is sound. But again, those applications are still open. The church has been very generous, so please do submit those. We can just come into the COA office. Either offices still have the application. We can mail it to you, whatever works. We just need it in by the 31st of December. Yeah, and then also, just the pantry, again, Mark Camocasio donated 10 turkey boxes, brigade boxes. So, I know they do that annually, and certainly this year was no different. So really appreciate that. I know people love having it all together in one box. Makes it nice and easy, along with a gift card to go get a turkey if they wanted a turkey, or to use it for something else. So that was wonderful to see. Transportation, I mentioned it last time around, but she does make note that we replaced our 4 rear tires from Sullivan's Tire. So hopefully that will put us in good shape. Last year we replaced the front tires. This year it's the back tires. So hopefully next year it'll be no tires. But definitely needed, and want to make sure that we are keeping up to date so that the van is safe for everyone. And then just continuing with outreach volunteers. A lot of our volunteers do tend to gravitate to the outreach office, and so again, they're helping everything from decluttering homes to being a companion to stacking the inventory and organizing, our donations, and having neat drivers as well. So really appreciate everyone that's going there to do that. So thank you. Any questions on outreach services?
I would just like to compliment the report. It seemed to have more information this time. It was very helpful for us to see the range
Yeah,
of services,
awesome.
which are numerous.
Yes, thank you for mentioning that. Appreciate it. And we'll certainly pass it along. So stats for November. Again, food pantry participation is just continuing to rise. So in November, we had 131 visits. Significant volume went out with just under 2,500. So certainly it's always higher in November, but this November is certainly our highest as of yet. So, a couple of great things. Word is getting out. We are getting new people in, and just know that it is here truly as a resource for people. So, those older adults that are here in Groveland are more than welcome to join us. If anybody knows somebody that needs food and they can't come, we do have delivery service, so those options are available. For people watching that may know younger folks that are in need of food, just know that there are a lot of resources out there, and we're happy to point them in that direction too. So yeah. I mentioned it last month just because it was in the moment that, last month we did not have any chance or any trips just because I guess they weren't of interest to our people at the time. And that was a trip to the Museum of Printing and also to the American Heritage Museum. I don't know if it was timing or not, so we may try it again. I do think the American Heritage Museum is pretty amazing. Probably. I also think the Printing Museum could be too, but, so we'll try it again. I know November and December are tricky times, but it's always tricky. But that said, we still had pretty significant participation in community program in general. So that was, again, really great to see that people are still looking to connect here in person on site. So that was great. In total, we received just about 1,163 interactions over the month. So awesome. Again, our work at a glance on the next page. I just wanted to note that I know a couple months ago somebody had asked for unduplicated or unique interaction. So I did pull it last month, but I can pull it every once in a while. It's a lot. So I can maybe like quarterly put that in, but yeah.
I mean, I just think it tells us a
Yeah.
important story.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely.
It's too much work.
Well, I hate to say it's too much work. It is very time consuming. And so that's, maybe I'll get to a place where I can pull it faster. But I can definitely commit to quarterly, if not more. So, okay. But yeah, so that's where we are. Again, support services, no surprise, that's our biggest number there. So, yeah. Programming updates, for some upcoming things. So our newsletter for January, February has gone out, both in email. We also have the printed versions in our office for anybody that would like a copy of that. A couple of new things that I wanted to highlight is that we do have, I don't know if people are familiar with or not because it's fairly new. It's probably been out for about a year or so, is the GUIDE program. And so GUIDE is a free Medicare, so federal program supporting people living with dementia and their care partners. Essentially, it is supposed to be a holistic partnership between, somebody being a core point person to coordinate all the services needed and would be covered under Medicare. As we know, there's still always barriers in regards to financial need and this and that. So that said, we hope to get everyone's questions answered on January 5th. It is with Care Dimensions. So throughout the country, there are specific agencies that are contracted to be able to offer this GUIDE program. And for our area, that is Care Dimensions. So they'll be coming in to tell you a little bit more about the program, to talk about eligibility and so forth. So it is a really great opportunity that I hope continues and can even expand upon one day. So that's a new one. We're also launching a 3-part retirement planning mini-series late January, early February. So the 3 things cover, Social Security, Medicare, and just sort of general finances. So those will be 2 of them are on Saturdays at 10 a.m. and another one is in the evening on a Thursday. So trying to get those that may not yet be involved with us to start opening the door and help with planning in those steps. And then we do have another wellness program that we're offering, and that is Drums Alive. It is a curriculum offered throughout the nation, one of those sort of, let's say like a Zumba certified or something like that. But this is, if you haven't seen it, because they are on commercials every once in a while in the background, but they don't say Drums Alive because they're advertising something else. But they're the big yoga balls. You put them on a bucket, and then you drum on them. So it is a movement class, but also rhythm as well, and so it should be a lot of fun. The teacher is a Groveland resident, recently retired, and she is generously offering her time for free for us. So these are just a couple of pilot ones. We are hoping that we'll be able to run it on a weekly basis once we see what the interest is. So, yeah. Yeah.
I'm very pleased to see this 3-part retirement readiness mini-series. How can we get word out
Right.
people who may not already get the newsletter.
Yeah,
that this
I
is
think that's key.
happening.
So definitely going to put together, a news release that hopefully we'll put out this month. Yeah, to get it out there as a series for people that probably aren't reading our newsletter. So that was, the main method I was thinking of, certainly putting it on Facebook and then, certainly word of mouth. If anybody knows people, let them know. We'll put it out on the bulletin board too. So, yeah.
So where do people in their 50s and early 60s get their information?
Yeah, good questions. So,
Hopefully from their benefits coordinators where they work.
yeah,
At least one of
Oh.
them.
yeah.
Oh,
Well, that's an
So
interesting
is that
idea.
a
So we
networking idea?
could put that out to like the organizations around town, like Chesterton or something like that. To
School system?
Yeah, school system. Yeah, so certainly people should absolutely go to their employers first, and particularly in regards to any health insurance and things like that. But yeah, so good. Thank you. Anything else? And if you do have ideas on where to push it, more than happy to hear.
At the library, perhaps?
Yeah.
Maybe they could put one
Oh.
up.
Yeah, sounds good. Great. So for staffing updates, super excited to welcome Liz Troll to the COA. She is our program coordinator. She started last week. She is, quickly, I say, settling into her role. She's, knows my senior center, I would say, by this point pretty well. So excited to have her, and I think you all will feel well supported and welcomed by her. So yeah, excited. Just an update on schedule from last time. Last time we met, it was just the COA that was closed on a couple of Fridays after Christmas and New Year's, but now Town Hall will be officially closed both of those Fridays as well. So that's, I don't know, good news for staff, I guess. Yeah. And then the tax work-off program. So we received 15 applications. The town has allotted us 10 slots. At this time, however, we do only have 8 placements available. Certainly have reached out to my colleagues, definitely including Rebecca, our town administrator. It is just, it's hard to get jobs. But, certainly the library has always had a strong need, so they're continuing with 3. We at the COA are continuing with 3, and then Town Hall, the executive office will oversee 2 Town Hall greeter positions. So again, similar to last year and similar to how we're looking at the fuel assistance, financial need is the primary criteria that we're looking at, the new applications, and then previous participation in regards to how many years they participated. This year, that third one was sort of null because we just received so many new people that they were between people that needed the financial assistance or that self-identified as that, and people that are new, that filled the 8 spots. Next year, I had just talked to Rebecca, our town administrator, this week about, go ahead and starting that conversation with the superintendent and looking at Bagnell Elementary to see if they might be able to host some tax work-off programs, because I do know that that's something many other towns do, so it could be like a reading buddy or, that kind of thing. I mean, I'm open up to anything. I just know that that's something that's been popular in other towns. So hopefully next year we'll be able to fill all 10 slots without a problem. Any questions on that? No. Community survey update. So thank you all so much for those who have been able to make the calls. I mean, we did get a nice increase, I feel like, So last time this month we had 245, or last time last month this time around. We had 245. We're now up to 277. So still moving forward in that direction. So thank you.
Not really a very big,
But it's moving up. It's still moving up. Yes.
at this
So,
rate,
I know.
the survey is going to be outdated before we.
So
I thought George made an excellent suggestion about doing it as part of the robocalls.
yeah, so
don't
I
think
did
we've
do
done
it.
It is.
Yeah.
We've had one as a robocall?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Huh,
Yeah.
I haven't noticed that.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
probably because my husband deletes them before.
that, and yeah, so it's sort of one of those things, and I feel like it's on Facebook too, that you sort of maybe you get used to it after a while too. I don't know. But yeah, we'll try. We could do like a whole separate one, like only one.
Well, that's what I was thinking, a whole
Okay.
separate one, because
Yeah.
it gets buried in there.
Yeah,
And like when I
yeah.
get one, I'm like, well, okay, I hear what's going on, I'm
Yeah.
not there, I can't,
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
don't pay attention.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
we
a
could do
separate
that.
one was, I
Yeah.
thought that was
Yeah. Okay.
George's idea, and I thought that was excellent,
Yeah.
because then you do.
Yep. Yeah.
When it gets buried in already with a bunch of stuff, you either
Yeah,
know already,
there
or
you
you
go.
know you can't
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can do that maybe in the new year. So that'll be good.
One thing about the community service survey, I noticed, some of them take a long time and you never get to the survey. I talked to a gentleman probably over an hour. Nice person, says, I don't need council on aging at all, have no use for him. The only thing I would need is a ride to Boston if my health deteriorates. So we got off on that and talked about it for a while. I said, there's so many other things, and yes, you can get a ride to Boston through the Council on Aging. And he was not gonna fill out the survey, and then after, by the time the hour was up, he was gonna come down and get the survey for him and his wife, so. But you run into things that you don't expect to find, like I say, I never thought I was gonna have to explain what we did, so.
Yeah, well, a couple things in there. One, I think that counts as like a really successful call, even if whether we get a survey or not, right? Like, so that's wonderful, and thank you for sharing. I think, at the end of this, I put down, and I haven't heard too many of your own personal stories, but so Pat Smith, she did all the A's for us, and so that was like over 80 or something, and she just has a way of like getting to it. And so absolutely, I'm in the same boat as you. When I call people, it's like we're talking about all these other things and it lasts for an hour, but Pat is like going through those calls, and she, she's really getting people in there to complete the survey. So it was, or to say that they will complete the surveys. But yeah, so I think it's, it's probably our own individual styles too of how we handle it. But she sort of goes first off, hi, I'm a volunteer for Council on Aging. Can I ask you, did you complete the survey yet? And then depending on what she says, she just rolls with it. And then eventually, I don't think anyone's told her no. Again, reality or not, I don't know. But yeah. But I still think it's a successful call. So
Yeah.
thank you. Anyone else? Successes or not? We're more than happy to learn or hear.
Well, when I made calls, I think I only spoke to one live person. Everyone else, it was either leave a message or this number is no longer in
Right,
service.
A lot of that.
And the person that I did reach, it was a cool response, which kind of made me back off a little bit. To be honest with you, I'm not terribly comfortable, making calls to people at their homes, but I got through about half the list and, like I said, spoke to one person, so.
Yeah.
But that one person, after this cool response, said, is there a link? So I told them where there was a link, whether they do it or not, we don't know, but a lot of out of service
A lot of calls.
Yeah.
Well more than half of mine.
Yeah.
And then I think I spoke to 2 live people out of my entire list. One of them was a man, I told Alyssa this already, whose wife had just died. Of course, I had called and asked for either one of them,
Oh,
so. But I didn't know. I just
Yeah.
had to express my sympathy and move through it.
Yeah.
But yeah, way more than half of mine. and then mostly phone messages, so no idea. I mean, the gentleman who had lost his wife did ask to have a survey mailed to him, and one other person asked to have a survey dropped off at her house, which, so those are the only two, but both of them seemed willing to fill it out.
Yeah.
Whether they will, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, curious what you think. So yeah, the phone numbers are what they are. If we have their phone numbers, like I said, they are in there, and if not, tried to look them up online. I mean, it is what it is. I think then you move fast. I think probably Pat is similar. I think, I listed, so she had 80 people on her list, and 30 people, gave her that verbal commitment. So, that's sort of aligned with what you're saying. But, yeah.
I did hear Deb in the office talking about the wife who was deceased, so I Googled every single person, because I didn't want to.
Want to have that experience?
And there was one
Okay.
who was deceased, so, and I only spoke to two. One declined, and the other unfortunately was having real processing problems, so I kind of cut it off. I didn't cut it off, but just said,
Yeah. Yeah.
so you don't know what you're gonna run into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So certainly if we know, they are not on your list, this list, I was telling Sharon, it's from, it's from the past year, so 2024, I guess, but yeah.
So we could all pass along to you the numbers that were not in service or, deceased or whatever, so that you take those numbers off.
So so the numbers that are in it still would be good to double reference. I feel confident that the numbers we have in our database, because we're like regularly contacting them, you know what I mean? So it's probably the ones
I just
that,
think a lot of people had landlines and have gotten rid of their landlines.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I think that's a lot of it.
yeah.
And other people have probably, moved since the census data, because the.
So it's not census data, it's last year.
it's last year's list.
Last year's list of
Groveland
yeah,
residents.
60 plus, yeah. So,
Yeah, and I found too that the ones that were disconnected were out of area code. I tried all the out of area codes first, because I was thinking, possibly they're not in service.
well, I think, like my only phone is my cell phone, that's a 207 number.
Yeah, and of course, I don't have a local area code,
Yeah,
so.
so, yeah.
I did leave,
Yeah.
I think I left a couple messages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I still feel like we need to move forward. I'm sort of getting a lukewarm, maybe you don't want to do this anymore, so I don't know.
That's just
What?
me.
What? Just so
I
I
mean,
can plan.
I don't know, I don't love doing them either, but I feel like we need to do something. But I can't say I enjoy it, at all. And it does seem like it's a lot of effort, and I'm not sure if we're getting any, George had a good phone call, knows about rides,
Well,
but it was an hour.
yeah, but if I must have hit at least 8 people. I only had one person that was abrupt. And evidently something was going on. She says, I'm too busy right now, goodbye. It's okay, that's fine,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
But
know.
other than that, a lot of people were receptive. I don't know if they came out or not, but they said they would.
Yeah. We did get a lot of people after we
Yeah.
did this, so,
I did leave a lot of voicemails.
yeah, awesome.
Melissa, are you finding that you're getting more information, different information as these come in?
Oh, I haven't really looked at the results just because I feel like even, the 277 that we have, I don't think is representative of the population, but yeah.
The other thought I had was, rather than getting, lists, I know it's easier organizationally to do, let's split up the Bs, let's split up the Cs, but if we were able to look and find people that we actually knew,
Well, So I hear you there. So can you all just create the list of people you know and then call them?
Find out if and find out if they've done their surveys.
Yeah, we can do that too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, I could make a list of people that I know. I mean, like, you know, one of the couples that was on the list are people I know, but their landline was out of service, and I don't have a cell phone, but,
Yeah.
I mean, I probably could get their cell phone if I worked hard at it. But, you know, yeah, I mean, that might be better.
Yeah.
But then I feel like, are we just cherry picking if we do that? I don't really think so.
No, I'm
I just,
I'm
you
fine
know,
with that.
At
if
least
you-
we're increasing numbers
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
and maybe information.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I unfortunately know no one.
right.
I don't. I mean, I know you all. My son-in-law has already filled it out, and that's
Yeah.
it. That's,
Yeah, no, so I can give you lists. If anyone is interested, and maybe it's weird, I don't know, to hear Pat do her calls, like, it's a good little listen.
No, I don't mind, I'll put together a
like
list
to.
of names of people that I know.
Uh-huh.
I'll give it, was Pat the best person, or who's keeping the mail?
Oh, me.
I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
And then you can see if those people
Yeah.
have filled out their survey.
Yep.
And if not, I can,
Yeah,
those people I'm comfortable following up with.
sounds good.
All right,
Same with me. I'm comfortable with people that I know,
yeah,
and I've already, you know,
right,
been in contact with a lot of them. so.
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't even mind.
I
like, putting-
think one of the problems is, we're friends with Rose and Warren,
Uh-huh.
and they didn't realize they could put in two.
Yeah, it says it specifically on the survey, so
I
I'm
know.
glad that you,
And didn't-
and they did,
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Because I know when I talked to Rose, says, okay, I'm gonna get Warren to fill it out and send
Yeah.
it in, so.
Yeah, yeah, and they followed up, so
Oh,
thank
did they?
Good, yay. I'll take them off my list of people I know to call. Don't do Rose and Warren.
All right, yeah, happy to follow through however people want, so, thank you. Update on the engagement celebration and symposium. So this will be our third year. Super excited to say that Dr. John Ziesel, author of I'm Still Here, A New Philosophy of Alzheimer's Care, will be our keynote speaker. I think I don't remember if I mentioned it last time or at the Friends meeting, but if you haven't read the book, it's a really amazing book. And I feel like it extends far beyond Alzheimer's care in just that he is just really showing the humanity and creativity of that personal connection piece with people. And so very excited to have him. That will be on Saturday, June 20th. The event will run from 10 to 3 o'clock, still working out the exact time of the keynote, but we'll fit it in there, so it'll be good. And then, yeah, my thank you is to Pat for really going all in on those phone calls. And then she was also our trip assistant for the Boston Pops trip. And by all accounts, I hear that everyone had a phenomenal time. So really appreciate her help and all of that. So, yeah.
Alyssa, do you have copies of this book?
I don't currently know.
Okay, I just checked. It is available as an audiobook on Libby.
Oh, awesome. Good, good. Yeah. And I can check with Darcy over at the library to see if she can get copies too. But yeah. And it's a pretty quick read, you know. I mean, you could take it in chunks or you could read it all at once, you know. But, you know, the bottom line is, again, just that people, so, I feel like so many, in my maybe naive thinking, is just so many things could be solved, right, if we were just kind and nice and respectful to one another, and that extends to you know, ageism, right? When we see somebody on the street that all right, you are a human being, and I'm going to treat you accordingly and give you the respect and dignity that you deserve. So, yeah. But he also has a lot of creative approaches, too. So, yeah. Great.
Alyssa, before we get into the
Yeah.
drafts, just wanted to Deb's point about documenting or giving us, including the information about new contacts, that kind of thing, new interactions, you know, as opposed to ones, you know, continual people, and then,
So duplicated versus unduplicated.
Yes.
That's not necessarily new or not.
Unduplicated.
So like,
If I come in 5 times, I
Yeah.
count as 5.
yeah,
as unduplicated, I count as one
Yeah.
person
Yeah.
that used that service, whether I'm
Right.
new or someone that's been here, doing it for years.
Right.
So that's, I
Okay.
think, the difference.
Yeah, and actually, my point, I guess, is that you mentioned that it's time consuming, and I think, just to put out there
Yeah.
is, thinking about, what priorities are, and you do so much. I mean, your job is just over the top. That, quarterly, as far as I'm concerned, would be fine. I think, it is important, but I do feel that there's lots of other stuff going on and things that need to get accomplished. So just, and your time, your time management and all that, and it's great. So just wanted to put that
Yeah.
out there.
I can pull new numbers, the new people, though. That's an easy number to pull, so,
Okay.
yeah, thank you. Did you want me to just go into finance, or, okay? I was just gonna write down new numbers. Yeah, I'm happy to walk through what, for the FY '27 budget stuff. Certainly, if people on the finance committee want to share along the way, please do. So we received templates this year from the town administrator along with some deadlines. So you have the budget request form. Again, draft has not been turned in. I also put in the important dates. So for us, these documents, the first two documents you have, need to be turned into Rebecca by December 31st. Then she'll have time to sort of, sit with it. We have a meeting, the finance committee, those who would like to join, to review our request and talk it through on Monday, January 5th at 1 p.m. with Rebecca. That'll be, in the back office. And then we have our regular review with the finance board on Wednesday, January 28th at 5 p.m. So those are sort of our three key dates. At the end of the document, you will see the timeline that the town administrator had put together and shared with the town hall as a whole. So I don't necessarily, again, see a date of when we are going to hear what they are recommending for our budget and will be submitted to the board, but, have chatted, a couple of times and have received, verbal confirmation that we absolutely will hear before it goes to select board. So I think, it's progress. We're moving forward, and we'll just have to, I think, be diligent to check in. Now, if we know the date that it's going to the select board, that we can check in and make sure that we know it's going there. So in regards to the budget, nothing wild and crazy. So there's two forms. The budget request form, this is a template from the town, so we had to state our mission. We had to state department goals for FY '27. So I really used our FY '26 strategic plan goals and just sort of bumped them up next. So that seemed reasonable, but more than happy to have feedback on that. But primarily, taking survey feedback and moving forward with it. It's a big overall gist of that. In regards to the budget narrative, just in general for director, assistant director, and our two van drivers, having a 2% increase, which seems to be pretty standard for the town. Not necessarily saying that that's enough to keep up with, cost of living or even necessarily be competitive with some similar towns, but we know that we are within our town budget limits. So the big sort of change, if you will, but I still think pretty minimal, is for our program coordinator. So last year, we had budgeted, well, and I had intended to budget $20 an hour for the program coordinator role. I was doing that on the assumption of 52 weeks, 16 hours a week. And then, however, in reality, on days worked, which is Monday through Thursday, when you calculate those actual days, it ends up being just less than $20 an hour. And so we needed to adjust for that, number one. And then I really feel to make it, for that hourly rate, to make it a meaningful something and to really, start pushing for where this role could be in line with others, to make it a 50-cent increase. So that total salary, but albeit this role is a hourly job with no benefits, comes to $17,139. So you can see on the budget request form, just all the numbers down the line. So for her, FY27 budget, it is, yes, a 3% increase on that particular budget line. However, to make those adjustments for her, it would end up being, or for this role, it would end up being about a 2.5% increase. But that's just my suggestions and recommendations, and more than happy to, hear your thoughts and where you would like to go with these numbers. And if I missed anything, feel free.
I think it's certainly a reasonable budget request. We're, staying within the town 2%, which, like you said, is what everyone, except for people who have individual contracts, receive. So there shouldn't be too much pushback from the finance board or town administrator or accountant or anyone on what we're asking for.
Yep. I didn't put anything for expenses, in large part because the town is taking over, hopefully, a considerable amount.
Do we,
So-
that was my
Yeah.
second question, was last year we had still an expense line. No expense?
No.
We zeroed everything out last year so that we could do the salary issues that we used that.
No,
as-
we asked for it, but didn't receive it.
But it gave us something, right? So, okay. So we're just going 0 to 0 on expenses and funding everything through the Friends.
Yeah, I mean,
And
so,
the town took over, I know the town took over like the software.
yeah, so town took over software last year, so that
And
included,
we're assuming they're taking over the van,
so that has been in conversation,
but we
yeah.
don't know that for a fact.
But we don't know it for a fact, but that is something that I do know the town administrator is hoping to do. And that really is our significant expense,
Oh, yeah.
So
so.
when you recently got the tires, from what expense line?
So that's from the COA budget,
Okay.
yeah. So we do still, for FY '26, we do have the $5,000 grant from Mass DOT. At this point, I think we're just about, if not totally,
It came
spent
from,
that.
it came from money, not tax money,
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
either the transportation grant or
yeah,
operating grant or Friends contributions.
yeah, yeah.
So revolving fund money, basically.
Yeah,
Not
absolutely.
town tax money.
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
I know, I'm just wondering, so it's still in conversation, nothing has been decided?
Yes. So I did make note of it in here so it could be documented, but yeah.
Okay,
But,
good.
which is great, if the town does take it, I mean, if the town doesn't take it over, we're in no worse position than we were,
Yep.
according to the budget.
Yep.
If the town does take it over, that means we have to use less, well, we we wouldn't go for the transportation grant, but we wouldn't, if it went over what the transportation grant could cover, we wouldn't have to dig into any other funds
Yeah.
to support, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
From what sources do the funds for the revolving fund come?
Yeah, absolutely. So revolving comes from individual donations that I do not solicit, but just come to us. They also come through the Friends of the Council on Aging. They come from the program fees that we do collect. So those are primarily the three sources.
Thank
Yep.
you.
And then, you know, so that's one account. And then as, you know, you see reported every month, we have our formula grant fund. So, yeah. Yeah,
Which I think
it's pretty
maybe
good.
after this budget cycle finishes, wouldn't be a bad article to sometime include in our newsletter, that your tax dollars are only paying for the staff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's all your town tax dollars are paying for with the Council on Aging. I mean, obviously, the facilities
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
you know, if they do take over the band. But I mean, it's not paying, and I think not everybody understands
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I think people look and they're like, oh, you know, why
Yeah.
should the town be paying for yoga? Or why
Yeah,
should the
yeah,
town
I
be
hear you.
paying for
Uh-huh.
band trips? And people don't always know.
Yeah.
Might not be a
Absolutely.
bad thing to publish.
Yeah. It's great.
You finished?
Yeah, so this does have to be submitted at the end of this month, so if there, you know, I can hold off, or if you're good with it now, we can just say that, or,
So just one thing for
Yeah.
clarification, so that where it says department goals, the only goal you're listing is use community data, or,
well,
I mean, that's fine, I just wanted to make sure.
yeah, I figured for this
Yeah,
purpose.
why not?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
I'm happy to put more, I
No.
just felt like,
I just wanted to make sure that we
Yeah.
didn't like miss a piece.
no. I also, knowing that probably the board will have another session of what we are going to do in a broader sense for FY '27, like I didn't want to have to. Yeah, I wanted us to have to be wide open, so, yeah.
I think it looks good as is for submission
Okay.
to
Me too.
town administrator. Thank you
Okay.
for your work on it.
Yeah, of course. Thank
You need a
you.
motion on that?
I don't know.
I think so.
I don't
No.
think we do.
No,
I mean, it couldn't hurt. Have it officially in the record that we approved it.
Mm-hmm, okay.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the budget request form as submitted.
A second. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous? Thank you. All right, thank you, Alyssa.
Thank you.
Lots of work.
Can you please repeat what?
Sure. Make a motion to approve the budget request form as submitted by Alyssa on this date. For 20, yes, for FY 2027. Thank you, George. The FY 2027 budget request form.
Got it.
Okay, all right. Okay, other business, subcommittee updates, anything more in finance? Okay, how about personnel? No, okay, no feelers out there yet for folks that you think might be an appropriate board member? No, okay. All right, and nominating? Okay, no, okay. All right, and the bylaws are inactive at this time. Larry, Friends of the COA update, please.
Good morning, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Larry McElhenney, President of the Friends of the Council on Aging. We are a fundraising group that all the money that we raise goes directly to support the programs and the mission of the Council on Aging. We have had a pretty successful year. I just want to highlight a few things. We had our November calendar raffle, and I want to thank the businesses and the people who sold raffle tickets. And I want to particularly thank Rita Murray, who did a lot of the legwork for getting the businesses to contribute to the calendar raffle. And if you haven't seen the poster out in the hallway, we do thank the businesses and encourage people in town to support the local businesses that support us. If you missed the December concert, the community concert at the Bagnell School, you missed a great time. I want to thank Jacqueline O'Connor, the music teacher at Bagnell, and the Bagnell Chorus. I want to thank the Memory Laners, who had a terrific show. And I want to particularly thank Linda Brown, who put it all together. It was a fun event, and we raised a good chunk of change out of that, too. It was just a real fun time, and we look forward to having another concert in the spring. It was a great opportunity to pull the whole community together for this concert. It was fun for us to see the children respond to the music, and they really had a good time, and I think all of us had a good time, too. Tomorrow, the Friends are sponsoring the holiday luncheon, and I know that's sold out, but it was it's good for us to be able to come up with the money for that. January, we have our annual fund drive, our membership drive, and there'll be some information coming out on that. It's a way for us to raise money. I call us a fundraising organization. This is one of the times that we just plain out ask you for a donation, so we hope that you support us that way too. We also have completed a revision of our bylaws. It's been enacted and voted twice. Probably the biggest change is our officers, instead of being elected June to June, the change is going to be a January to December run of the officers. The current board is signed on through the end of 2026. It's hard for me to even say 2026. I can't believe that. Just want to make a thank you to What's Up Groveland, who has consistently publicized our events. If you don't know What's Up Groveland, it's a program put on by the Groveland GCN, Groveland Cable News. It's available on YouTube, and it's available on the town cable station. So, thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Any other? If not,
Yes, just one other thing. I attended the Pie Social, and not to knock the storytelling, because I didn't go to that, but I find that, like, the Pie Social is a great get-together. You don't have to listen to anybody, you can talk with anybody you want, you can sit anywhere, and I found it very entertaining and, informative. We got to talk to new people, and
Yeah.
so.
Thank you, George. So with that in mind, we are doing something similar in February, the Chocolate and Chat. Yeah, I hope that you join us for that. I think something else that we did different that time, and I think we'll continue to do both for, if we can, for the luncheons, but definitely for those programming things, is the tables are a little bit more individual, so that it's 8 at a table as opposed to the long, 30, or I guess it'd be 20 in a row, so that people can move around a little bit more and have maybe an easier time to have conversations with people. So thank you for that.
okay. All right, any other? Okay, just quickly, I had the pleasure yesterday of taking food pantry orders, and even though it wasn't face-to-face communication, it was great talking to people. People were so thankful, so pleasant. And I really enjoyed that. All right, okay, so focus areas. Board and staff goals, strategic planning. I think probably, I would like to move, if anybody has any objections, let me know. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Actually, is this the time that we're gonna go around? Deb, did you,
I don't know, because I never got any feedback. I said at the last meeting, and so I don't think we have a decision. I sent out my little spreadsheet. George sent me a list of things that he had done, but I don't know the further directions, so I decided I would wait for further instruction.
okay,
Since all I did was volunteer to put together an Excel spreadsheet, and I've done that.
all right.
So I don't know where we're going with this.
Yeah.
And I don't know how important it is to
Okay.
keep.
I think it is important because it's part of our goals. Let's see, here we go. Yeah, okay. So basically, it's listing, each board member records a list of 2 or more trainings and/or informational resources each year. And I think we had decided that maybe this is a good time to check in and start that list. And then each board member shares new information gained at a training, a professional development opportunity, or an informational resource one or more times each year. I will email you something, thoughts that I have. I had kind of just, I think on there should, I don't know, and again, input. Volunteering should be one category. Excuse me, ambassador, or just attendance at, like the Christmas party thing. Those kinds of things where you're connecting, with people, being an ambassador, chatting, how's it going, how's the food, are you having fun, that kind of thing. Trainings would be another one, and I think we talked about what those might be, or informational resources. So, maybe I mentioned the AARP, we did the video,
On ageism.
ageism, so those kinds of things. So that would be another one. And I guess the sharing of information would be another. Any other thoughts, ideas, suggestions?
Well, I know that Deb is always willing to go above and beyond, and I appreciate this spreadsheet. There's a part of me that feels that each of us should take responsibility for listing our own and keeping track of our own.
Right.
So certainly on the tracker, keeping the board member name, and then a section for the program attended and the date, or the seminar or course, or maybe instead of programs attended, in our strategic plan, we say trainings or informational resources. So maybe programs could be revised to listing trainings or informational resources, which could include courses, van trips, and what was the other thing you just mentioned?
Volunteering?
Volunteering, thank you. And so I'm just wondering if we could simplify this for each person so that it's, board member, and then just trainings and informational resources, seminars, courses, the van trips and programs attended, and volunteering. Oh, I just lost a thought. And sharing. Well, we could just have even a symbol, like put an asterisk by whatever you list on here, and then an asterisk means I shared information from this to the board, just to keep it simple. Because see how well we did in sending information to Deb to put onto the list.
That's a bit-
So maybe we just each take responsibility for ourselves with a more streamlined, simplified.
Absolutely, and I think we had decided that we wouldn't send things to Deb, wouldn't need to have to do that extra step of, putting them in. And I think you're right, I think, each person taking responsibility. Does that work for you, Deb?
Whatever you guys want works for me. The only reason I set it up was because you guys asked
I
me,
know.
because everyone seemed very panicked about the idea of how to chart this and how to track it. I don't care how you do it, whatever you want. If you want to write it on your own Post-it notes, it doesn't matter to me, Sharon. I have no ownership of this whatsoever. If you don't want to use it, don't use it. It's fine. It doesn't matter to me.
No,
I really don't have any ownership of this. It doesn't matter.
You were good enough to create
I
the
know.
spreadsheet to get us started, and now I
Yes.
agree with Irene that,
Use it however
We
you
we're all
want.
needed
big
a
boys and
starting
girls,
point.
we can keep
Yeah.
track
Yeah.
of it and
Yeah.
share it, yeah,
Whatever you want,
that's certainly,
whatever
bonus.
you want.
Well, and maybe, we don't have editing privileges.
Don't have what?
No, we don't have editing privileges. Because I was thinking maybe we could just,
You guys can each create your own if you want to.
Or you could just have a hard copy and send it around at each meeting.
I think we had talked about that,
Yeah.
too. Mhm.
Oh, don't do that, because I'll never remember what I did.
Yeah, I
You
mean, I
just
have a-
remember the pie social.
That's it.
Bring your own little note card with
Yeah.
what you've done,
Yeah.
and
this is our
write it on.
strategic plan, so we
Way.
could just keep our own list connected
Yeah.
to it, and
Yeah.
Yeah, I brought mine, actually.
Oh.
I thought, I
Wow.
don't know, I thought we were gonna do it, so, yeah,
yeah.
so it's
I
there.
think all you need to be able to do is at sometime around the end of June, when we evaluate how we did against our strategic plan,
Yeah,
is we need to be able to say, did the board meet its, to
Yeah.
what percentage did the board meet its goals?
Yeah.
I think that's all we have to do. So whatever is easiest for everyone, I think is what people should do. I did not intend to create stress.
I know. You made us start, and that's exactly what we needed.
Yeah, that was great, yeah. But then, as we
First step.
talk out things, then we think of, other
Yeah.
possibilities or whatever. I mean, it takes a village, it takes a board, and I appreciate, everything.
It's fine, you guys, just do it however you want to do it. George, if you want to keep sending me emails, I will track yours. It's fine. Whatever works for you.
All right. I think that
We're all set.
okay, all right.
Do we know what our January meeting focus might be? Is there something that strikes us as being important to discuss in January?
I can give ooh, close. I'm open to anything. I was thinking, because I noticed it on here, but I mean, I could give more of a structured report on our goals as a staff, where we are, if you want that. But that could also be in my board report, so. Whatever you would like. If there's also people or organizations that you would like to connect with, I'm more than happy to, bring them in and have them give a talk like Dory did last month. I think that was really nice, so, yeah.
I think we also need to keep the community assessment survey update on here as an ongoing
Yes.
Yeah.
business item.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And possibly our second pillar to work on that, develop a board ambassadors practice in which one or more COA board members identified with an ambassador's badge are greeters and ambassadors who engage with attendees at each luncheon and at least 50% of the van trips. So that would be the documentation of the van trips would be ongoing through the year, but maybe talking about the developing the ambassador's practice.
Upcoming van trips, if people are interested and haven't seen it yet. So kept things local. I feel like winter weather is always a challenge, right? So, and calendar was just really full, which is great too. So in January, we are just going out, similar to what you said, George, of just wanting to go out to lunch and connect. So over to the Loft in North Andover. It will actually be after a program we have earlier in that morning about grab and go bags. And so if you attend that and then want to head over, if you just want to do lunch, that works too. So that's happening in January, I think January 15th. And then in February, community recommendations. Some people wanted to do some candle pin bowling. So we are going over to Academy Lanes to do candle pin bowling. And certainly they have a restaurant there for food for anyone that would like. And then at the end of February, we are doing a trip over to the New England Quilt Museum in Lowell, and then lunch following that. So, yeah, some good stuff.
All right, thank you.
Sounds good.
Okay, anything else? Okay, may I have a motion to close the meeting at 11:30?
10:30.
10:38.
So move,
Right back.
make that motion.
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Will everyone have a wonderful Christmas?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody,
You too.
Thank you.
Oh, from today?